Welcome to episode 1. He is Lais, and I am the coach. And that is the name of our show.
Everything stems from our identity.
You can still take a chance and take a risk, right?
What is the level of intention and attention that you are putting forth?
To us, success is being able to live life on our terms.
You're either going to take care of your health by choice or by obligation. So make it a choice now.
But it's about the experience.
If you're part of the living, you're going to have life.
What if it is better than you even thought?
We all have that limitless potential.
The fear that steps into most people paralyzes them.
I don't think anyone's ever said any of the shit you just said, which is amazing.
There's a lot of parts of you that you should let go of.
You have time for all of that. You have time for this too.
Guys, we are back.
We're back, bitches!
Welcome, everybody, to Lais and The Coach. Welcome, everybody, to Lais and The Coach. And on today's episode, we have a very special guest. And before I introduce her, it isn't that we are not going to talk about crowns and titles today, but we are going to look at it from a completely different lens. On today's show is Andrea. Andrea, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us. We're so excited.
We are so excited to talk to you. But for all of our viewers and our listeners, can you introduce yourself and tell them why you have a sash on and the crown and kind of walk everybody through how you got to where you are right now?
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Andrea Almestica. I am Miss Teen International USA 2025. And I got this crown in June and during my national pageant where I competed for a week in the Rosen Plaza.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. How long have you been competing?
Well, this will be my second year
competing
officially. Second pageant that I've done, first one that I've won. And it's an international title, so it's pretty big.
That's amazing.
In 6 months, I'm leaving to India.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I know. I'm excited. It's my first international title. So it's definitely a new experience for me, but it's been so exciting.
That's amazing.
That's so cool.
And we were just talking before the camera started rolling. It's like, one of the reasons that we wanted to chat with her is because the majority of our guests are always, over 30, over 40, even over 50, and getting into the competition world and even getting into the doing something for the first time that is for them. So speaking to somebody that is getting started in this chapter so much earlier in life is a great opportunity to get their perspective and listen to what their thoughts are on what they're doing now and where they're going. So how did you get into deciding that you wanted to do a pageant?
Yeah, so I was introduced to modeling at a very young age. I modeled when I was younger, when I lived in Puerto Rico. And once I moved here, I kind of stopped. And around 2 years ago, during my teens, I was feeling very insecure. I'm only 19, but I was feeling very insecure. I'm tall. I'm 5'8". I'm pretty tall for a girl. It's not the average height for a girl. And I just felt so insecure and so unhappy with myself. And I was like, this cannot go on any longer. So I told my mom, I was like, I want to start modeling again. And she secretly signed me up for a pageant, which I didn't know until they picked me to go. And she was like, would you want to do it? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you already signed me up. Like, yeah. And for that pageant, I wasn't going to compete for an international crown, but it was a big title that I still had, and I learned so much about myself in that process, learned to accept myself, I'm tall, learned to love myself, and to kind of enhance my personality and to not be shy, and to take care of myself more, I feel like with mental health as well, because it's an industry where self-comparison is always going to happen, and even more. If the average person has self-comparison issues, imagine someone that is in beauty pageants.
Right.
You have to look your
where
best.
you're signing up to get judged.
Yeah.
Everyone's biggest fear is to get judged, and we sign up for it.
No, and speaking in public with strangers, you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's funny, but overall, it really changed my way of thinking, the way I feel about myself, and my trajectory for life, because it's life lessons and you'll never forget.
There's so many things that you said there.
No, it's great. Don't be sorry.
There's so many things that you said there that are so important and are so foundational. And I don't want to get it all jumbled up. So let's start at the beginning, where that insecurity, right, doesn't end after. The insecurity doesn't go away. It's so insightful that you caught it so soon and that you decided to do something about it.
Yes.
Because most people kind of like live in it, you know, for an extended period of time.
Most women especially live in it.
Right. And they don't necessarily do something about it because it's either not what they're conditioned to do or not what they're taught to do or not even what's on their mind, because life doesn't stop for anybody. And even strong women are like, I don't have time to deal with this insecurity. I just got to keep going.
He's talking about me. I'm like, I don't have time for this. Yes.
I understand.
It's incredible because most women in general, like that, yes, we have kids, we're married. I know you're a lot younger, but like we all compare ourselves, right? And I always think to myself, like, wow, it would be so difficult to be your age in this day and age. Like, we didn't have social media. There was MySpace, which sometimes I'm like, people these days would not make it because you rank your friends and you remove the friends. Well, you guys are not strong enough.
My mom tells me that all the time.
But on another side, like the whole Instagram world where everybody looks perfect and everybody has an amazing life and everybody's traveling and has all these friends and this amazing relationship. Yeah. It's like, I can't even imagine growing up thinking that, like, or having that in my face, right? And so for you guys that grow up with that, I feel like it would bring on insecurities, but that also, like, you would think that it's normal. Like, then let me just do what I need to do to get that.
Not yet.
But to be able to take a step back and be like, wow, like, this can't go on any longer. To your point, it's remarkable. Like, at any age, but especially at such a young age.
So what were like some of the things that you had to do for that first pageant in order to kind of like step into that role as a competitor?
So like you said, the insecurity doesn't go away, but you just kind of learn to accept yourself. So during my months of preparation, I kind of just started doing things that made me feel good and started learning more about myself, what I liked, what I didn't like, and starting to surround myself around people that made me feel safe. I also joined a modeling academy, which that helped me tremendously. I was constantly feeling down sometimes. It was my first pageant, so I was constantly feeling down, but my coach made sure that I was the best. You know, she made sure that I was feeling good. She made sure that I was always sitting up straight and that I didn't let the thoughts like kind of stay.
Yeah, the mental noise.
Also, like meditations or like talking to myself in the mirror. It sounds weird, but talking to yourself in the mirror and kind of just talking to yourself and saying like, I am enough, like I can do this. It helps. You think it doesn't.
Absolutely.
Because I was a firm believer. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to talk to myself in the mirror. I don't want to be crazy.
So considering that you had done some modeling before, how different was modeling to like pageantry?
Well, I still model now. So every time, even the walk is different. So I have to like switch instantly. I'm like, I have to remember, I'm not on the big stage. I'm on a runway, like on a fashion show runway. But when I was younger, since I was younger, it was completely different. Okay. And so it was years since I started modeling.
And what are some of the things that go into a pageant? Let's say for somebody who's listening and they're like, they've only seen it on TV and they have no idea like what actually goes into it.
Right, because I want to know what that preparation's like.
That's why I'm asking.
We're familiar only with, you know, like we do fitness modeling, right? But it's still fitness. So it's like the preparation's very specific. It's your food, it's your training, how many steps, how much water. Like it's a very specific
and then obviously
process.
There's a stage presentation.
And then there's a stage presentation. You got to learn how to pose. You got to learn how to walk. You got to do all the things. So we have like both sides where you're walking the runway, you're modeling, you're angling your body a certain way because what we do is not bodybuilding. But then you're also having the other side where you are getting in fitness shape, right? You do need to get in shape for that and a specific shape for that. So we're familiar with our preparation. Obviously, we guide people through that. But for you, like, what is that preparation like?
So I actually love this question because you guys have no idea the amount of times that people tell me, all you do is walk up and down. I'm like, no, you have no idea. Not just like preparing yourself physically, but mentally as well. And for example, my preparation now for the international pageant, I'm competing against a lot of girls. I think it's like, how many?
I was going to say how many?
40 girls. Very competitive. It's the biggest teen pageant there is. So mentally, it's going to be exhausting. You're going to be comparing yourself. So I'm just kind of working on controlling my nerves, respiration. You have on-stage questions, body language, fitness as well. That you guys understand that part. So I'm working on that right now. Eating the right amount, making sure that I'm getting the rest that I need, eating what I need, training how I need to train, poses, the stamina, it's a lot. It's a lot. Learning to understand your body, and it's a lot. It's like 14 days. You're barely gonna sleep. You're barely gonna eat.
It's 14 days of competition.
Yeah. So you have to have it in your mind, and you have to be ready for what you're going to.
I can't believe she's a teenager. It's like a grown woman.
There's one of the things that we notice with a lot of people that are getting ready to step on stage for the first time is that a lot of times the goal is the thing that inspires them to even go through the transformation. But a lot of times they don't even make it to the stage because the stage is so frightening. Yeah. Did you go through any of that, like your first time around?
Well, yeah. So this is it's not a funny story, but
but it's a story.
Yeah. So,
we love stories.
So for the national pageant, I had a speech and on-stage questions. I had never done that before, and even though it's not a big stage as the national, international one, there was a lot of people, a lot of eyes on you. You don't want to mess up. So I had a speech, and when I was saying my speech, I left like 2 words out. Like they had nothing. Like my point got across.
Right.
But I practiced it so much, I was like 2 words. Like I didn't say it. I went backstage. I started crying, and I texted my mom. I was like, I'm
done.
Yeah.
It's over.
She was like, it's
failure.
Okay, I know. And it's like, now looking back, it's like, it's the little things, you know, that's how much the nerves control you. So that's why it's so important to work on it and to just stand your ground. Even if you forget, or even if you're like, oh, I don't know what to say anymore, just go. As long as you're confident, they don't care.
Let's stay on that for a second, because in retrospect, right, looking back, how much significance did the 2 words have on your stage performance?
Nothing.
And the reason that I ask is because a lot of times, a lot of the people that are getting ready to step on stage are so overconsumed with some of the details that are not necessarily going to contribute to whether or not they feel confident on stage. And they hyper compensate by saying, I forgot that pose, or I forgot that thing. I didn't stand that right. I forgot, right? And that becomes more of a stressor than whether or not you are fluid and feel confident and have the kind of experience that you want to have. When you finish that first pageant, did you feel like, I got to do so many more of these, or were you like, I never want to do that again?
So my first pageant, since I didn't win my first pageant, I was kind of feeling down.
Discouraged.
Okay. Yeah. And it's just, yeah, it happens.
For sure.
But I knew that I wanted to continue doing it.
Oh, you did? Or did you know that before it was over, or like?
No, so as soon as it was over for a couple weeks, I was like, it was hard. Like, okay. I knew I loved it, but I was like, I don't know if I could put myself in that position again.
Okay.
Because I'm like, it's hard. And especially when you work so hard for something and it doesn't come out the way that you want. But then for the next pageant, I won. And it was so rewarding. And also, it's kind of looking back. It's like, you see, you didn't have to worry about the little things. No matter how afraid you were, it's okay.
And in that time where you weren't feeling your best after that pageant, how soon or how much time did it take before you reframed all of that and said, I'm going to go all in?
Well, it wasn't a lot, right? 4 months later, I was already like training for this.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, because my modeling coach, she had told me, just do it. Like, you're going to do so good. You have to do this. Because sometimes things are not meant to be for you, or like not every crown is fit for someone. Because
you're not going to win everything you do.
I like that. Not every crown is fit for someone.
Yeah. And every pageant looks for something different. So you can go in there looking the best, having the best outfits, but if you don't fit that stereotype that they want for their organization, you're not going to win. So sometimes you do have to put that in mind and make sure you research before you go. Like, it's the same thing. You're not going to go somewhere and you're not going to know what you're getting yourself into.
Well, you would think.
Yeah.
You would be surprised.
So it's the same thing. You know, you want to research and find the pageant that's for you. So she reassured me and my mom. She's like, it's okay. Like, you guys are going to do good. Like, you know, because this is a team effort.
Right. But even when you leave without a crown, you still leave with so many other things.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like that need to your point, like to kind of like restructure in your mind what just happened, how you want to move forward and set yourself up again. Like, that's ultimately like such a win, because otherwise, how do you get over anything in life, like you said?
And exactly, the crown is not necessarily, obviously you're competing for the crown, but you learn so much in preparation for the crown. For example, the discipline that I have, or just my mindset completely changed. I can tell you I am not the same person from when I started, like, at all. Like, the growth, my public speaking, how I interact, just every little thing, it really shapes you.
I agree with that 100%. And we hear that even from 40, 50-year-old women, right?
Right.
But it's amazing to hear that also from someone so young.
How much of you wanted to, or did you ever find that you were resetting? So, for example, you said you're not the same version of you. So inside of that journey, did you ever find yourself kind of resetting to who you used to be? Or did you have so much intention behind what you were pursuing that you didn't leave room for that?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say necessarily like reset, but I would think back and I'm like, okay, wow, I've grown so much, and that would just kind of keep me going. Or like keeping my eyes on the prize as well. I feel like I'm someone that's very, like, my path is clear. I feel like when I have my mindset on something, I very much work as hard as I can to get to that point. So I kind of stay focused, and that's kind of how I push forward.
And how different was your intention going into the second pageant in comparison to the first one? Like, I know that the first one you hadn't done it, so there's a lot of unknowns.
And your mom signed you up and whatever.
Right,
But I'm
there's
sure
a lot
you
of
still were
unknowns.
like, yeah.
But now that you've had a taste of it, like, how different was your intention behind that second journey?
Yeah, so because also what added to it is that I was competing for an international crown. Okay. So the desire was like way more, and the preparation is a lot harder. So it was a lot of classes, and like I said, people think that it's just walking back and forth, whatever, but being in heels all day is not easy. And it's also like a workout. Like, I can tell you,
it's not like a workout, it is a workout.
It is a workout.
It is a workout.
This past week, I had a photo shoot yesterday, and the day before, on Wednesday, I had a class for like 3 hours, photo shoot and everything with heels, and my legs are like tired, but it's because I've been walking back and forth so much, dancing in heels, everything in heels, so it's tiring. So you have to get used to that, and it's all the little things that go together.
Just
the little things are the big things.
A little segue. What does a week of preparation look like for you, or what does a normal week when you are preparing for an event like this look like for you? Like, how is are you in school?
Yeah.
Okay. So how does your week look in terms of managing all of the things that you need to do, going to school, and getting ready for this pageant?
So every week is different. Like,
okay,
when someone tries to make a plan for me, or I have an event this day, I'm like, I really need to get back on you, because sometimes my directors will tell me last minute, you need to be here at this time. So it's kind of like a sacrifice. But since I'm in my third semester, my second year of college, I did my semester online, so I'm able to have that flexibility, because that helps so much instead of me having to go and take all my classes. Yeah. So that alone has helped me a lot. But I have class once a week for like 3 hours. That's my runway class. Like I mentioned before, next week I'm starting my training. So I will be working out every day. So kind of making time for that. And in between, making time for my schoolwork, runway, public speaking classes. Now they're going to add like post classes as well, just because when you're international, you have time to think. You just have to do. So kind of creating a habit ahead of time. So when I'm there, I know what I'm doing. And when I have events, it's gone all day from like 9 in the morning until 1 in the morning. And an event, fashion shows. I have a lot of fashion shows coming up, and it's just kind of fitting that into the schedule. And it's all, I don't even know how to explain. It's priority. Right. Like, you have to know what your priorities are. For example, school for me is very important. So regardless of what I'm doing, I know I have to do my schoolwork. Sunday I had a meeting. We had to drive like an hour and a half. I took my school computer with me, and I'm like, that hour and a half, I'm going to get my work done. Yeah. Because it's an hour and a half that I don't want to go to waste. Right. So I take my time really like consciously. I don't let it go to waste.
Not just prioritize, but also like systems, right? And like the right habits and the right ways to kind of like manage it. You have to manage it right. Otherwise, there's not ever enough time.
And I will say it's the whole pageantry and everything that I do, I don't do it myself. I have a team behind me, and like my mom helps me a lot. I have my own business. I have my own business, my platform. I have school. I have a lot of things. So it's hard, but it's not that hard when you have people that you can trust and people that help you through everything. Especially I'm 19. It's my first time doing everything.
Right.
You know? So having my photographer, my makeup artist, my coach, my mom, people that like ground me and help me with everything, I feel like that's also a game changer.
Absolutely.
There's obviously
so rare for anybody, but especially someone so young to want and accept that guidance and lean into the guidance instead of thinking that they have it figured out, which is what most young people do.
And there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle, like you said. Like you have a lot of people that are playing a role. You know, so when you step on stage, it isn't necessarily just you. It's like the sum of everybody's role on that team that you're representing. The other thing that I wanted to ask is, when it comes to like not the separation, but you said you're still modeling, you know, actively. How much has competing in pageants influenced or helped the modeling?
So because of my title, I feel like I've gotten more opportunities and more people are willing to work with me. But it's also, it's just given me the position to make connections. And the modeling world, everyone knows each other. Ever since I started my first fashion show, there hasn't been a fashion show that I've done that I haven't recognized at least half the people that are there. And that's why another thing that's important is treat others with kindness, or just be yourself and not be rude or anything, because you never know who's going to help you, and you never know
who you're talking to.
Exactly.
Like you're going to run into, you're going to do something with. Yeah, exactly. Because it's a small world. It's a big world, but it's a small world when you're in it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like pretend and not like no, but just be basic human being. Just be nice, because you never know.
Yeah.
How much of the competitiveness gets in the way of having a really good experience? Meaning, by nature, being competitive means that you're against someone, right? Yeah. And obviously that can come with any kind of negative vibes. Or how much of that competitiveness gets in the way of having a good experience, and how much of that competitiveness like pushes you to do better?
So I would definitely say it just pushes me to do better, mostly because I try not to compare. That's something that I used to do a lot.
Okay.
So I really try not to, because I feel like everyone has their own space. No, not two people are the same. What I bring to the table, no one else is going to bring to the table. So you kind of have to keep that in mind, because nobody's going to be the same. No one's going to act like you are. No, you just have to be professional, show up for what you're showing up for, and just do a good job. That's like my mantra. Like, just do what you have to do. No, do your best.
The rest is not up to you.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time.
Yeah,
a lot of
just
times
do your best.
People are so caught up in the title and the crown, like even for what we do, and in the competitiveness. And if it's a driving force, it's great. But if it's like not allowing you to enjoy your journey, your experience when you're there that weekend, if it makes you weird with other people, it's like we say it all the time. We're like, you don't have control over who wins, right? All of us backstage just worked hard and got there. Like once we got on that stage, it's the judges. Like I have nothing. If I win or if you win, like how can I be mad at you? I didn't make that decision. I just worked hard just like you did, right?
Exactly.
But a lot of times people will get to that weekend, and we see it all the time as coaches, and it's like they're stressing out and they're
there's tension, there's animosity.
Yeah, there's tension, there's animosity, or they look angry, and it's like, why are you having a bad experience? Like everybody wants to win. You're not going to every time. You know?
Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like very focused, and I just know what I've been. I just being confident in that you did a good job and that you prepared enough for it. I can't speak for anyone else, but I'm not a person that has like malicious intent, or like I don't think negatively towards other people. So I feel like in part this world has also taught me to kind of not be nice to everyone, or like not give everyone my all, because in this industry, because of the competitiveness, not everyone is the same. So I can be super nice, and then someone can turn around and stab me in the back because I was too nice.
Right.
So it's kind of just learning how to mellow your feelings as well, and not to give into it too much, because sometimes people will play tricks on you.
Yeah, it's cutthroat. It's cutthroat out there.
And especially in the international pageants, or in anywhere really. People that when someone wants something, they don't care who gets in the way. It's destruction.
But you made a good point with the doing your best, because we say all the time that everybody that we've seen that gets to show weekend and they're not happy, they're stressed, they're too nervous, they're upset, they're comparing, has nothing to do with how they look in that moment and everything to do with how they know they prepped for that moment, right? And so a lot of times, if you know you did your best and you know whatever your uniqueness is may not match up to somebody else based on what they're looking for that day, but you did your best, like that never feels bad. You can't feel bad when you show up and knowing you did your best.
Exactly.
But when you know, like, oh, I could have done this and I could have done it like that and I had these days, that's what sets somebody up to fail 100% of the time. I've even been there, where it's like, you know you didn't do everything, so you can't possibly feel that good about what you're doing.
Yeah.
But when you know you did everything and you worked hard, sure, when you don't get the outcome you want, you're like, wow, I worked so hard for this and I didn't get what I wanted. But same is true on the other side, right? But you still have you can walk away with, but I worked really hard for this. Like, I know what I'm made of. I know how I showed up. But when you don't, and it's like, it's the worst feeling. You can't show up confident.
Yeah, my mom, she keeps mentioning that to me too. She's like, you're going to an international stage. If you don't win, that's fine. But make sure that when you go over there, you know you prepped and you gave it your all. So no matter the outcome, you're going to be proud of yourself.
Exactly.
And something that's very real, because it happens, sometimes the winner is not the one that gets everything. Because I've seen title holders that their runner-up has had more opportunities, a more successful career than the one that actually got the title.
Mm-hmm.
So it
happens all the time.
Yeah, so it's knowing what you're worth, being smart as well, and just playing your cards right and showing up and not just giving up. Because if we just give up, we're not going to go anywhere. So just keep trying. And again, you never know who you're going to meet. So it's very important to just have a clear head, know what you're doing. It's super important.
A lot of times there's questions about how to balance all of that. But I don't think that balance is the right word. I think managing is a better word, because there are so many different elements that if you try to balance them and give equal energy to each of those, you fall short. So how do you manage all of the other things that life throws your way when this is occupying so much time, like sleep or a business
or social
time, right? Like, how do you manage all of that, or how do you split your time?
So that's something that since I've become more busy now, that's something that I'm kind of learning how to do now again.
In real time.
Yeah, because your schedule changes every time. Like, my time changes all the time. And right now, these are busy months. I have 6 months to prepare. So everything kind of changes. So I have to put priority to my preparation. So one thing that I do, or that I'm trying to do, is doing what I have to do before I can have like, for example, I want to go to Disney. I need to make sure that I have my pictures ready, that I've posted everything on social media, that I've done my schoolwork, that I've done everything that I need to do before I can go to Disney. Also, not overdoing it. Sometimes just rest is enough. Mm-hmm. So, for example, today, I stayed home in the morning. I usually volunteer on Fridays in the Moore Children's Hospital, but I was feeling so exhausted from the week, so I'm like, it's okay. I'm going to take today, sleep in until like 9 a.m. and then do what I have to do before coming here. Mm-hmm. But it's like also giving myself grace, because you don't want to burn out either. Mm-hmm. It's bad.
Yeah, that's so important.
I'm
still learning that. I'm almost 40.
There's a lot of things there that I think can be extracted, because, for example, regardless of pageant or competition or whatever, what do you say to somebody that is struggling to prioritize? Because it's a common thing that you've repeated, right? Like, you've got this in 6 months, and even the way that you speak about it, it's like, this is what I am focused on, and everything else is going to have to wait. So I'm sure that you also see that if you didn't do it that way, you're not going to feel good about showing up if you kind of half-ass it a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you communicate that to somebody that maybe is struggling to find that desire to prioritize? Because then it is a choice, right? Because you could choose not to.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you could choose not to. But how would you
imagine
like,
blink twice?
I know.
So how would you say that to somebody that's like, man, I can't find the energy to make all these things happen?
So one thing, and the main thing that really helps me, is knowing what your end goal is. So what do you want for your life, you know? Or what is something that you want so much more than your desire to stay in and sleep in? Because I have the annual pass for Disney, for example. I could be in Disney every day if I want to, but I can't. So it's like, I know, because I know what I have to do. I know what's expected from me too, because the USA sash has a lot of weight on it, because it's USA. Everyone always expects more because it's USA. Not only, I'm not doing all that I'm doing just because I'm USA, it's because it's me. You know, it's me, I'm representing USA. It's big. So I would say that find your end goal. And I feel like a lot of people have told me that too. It's just, what do you want? You know, and kind of put that into perspective. And you don't have to go all crazy. Like, let's say it's like little goals as well. If I want to run 5 miles, for example, by next month. That's okay. You can't run, like, if you can't run a mile, how are you going to run 5?
Right.
You know? So do things little by little that can help you achieve that goal. You don't have to do everything all at once.
Right, you don't have to overhaul your life overnight.
Yeah, exactly. So just balance it out, break it out. If you can't do you can't do everything in one day. So kind of be realistic and set standards up for yourself that you know you can do. And again, surround yourself with people that help you. Because I surround myself with people that are always motivating me, or that I know I can turn to, or that they won't judge me. Because a lot of the times that's what happens. Like, you don't feel like you have that support that you need. So it's also finding or being with people, because it's your choice who you surround yourself with.
Of course.
So being with people that also have goals for themselves, or people who will actually help you if you need help, or if I'm feeling not motivated today and I just feel terrible, you know? Well, my mom will tell me, it's okay, you could do this, or just another day you can do it. Same thing with my coach or my photographers. They're there, you know? So it's kind of surrounding yourself with that type of energy as well.
I think it's interesting because a lot of the women that we coach and a lot of the people that watch our podcasts, I would say, are anywhere between 30 and 55 for the most part, right? And there's always so many, I don't want to use the word excuses, but that's really what they are. Like, I'm too busy with, sorry, not sorry. I have kids, I have a job, I have a husband, I have this, I have that, I'm taking care of my mom. Like, we all have responsibilities, right? And I think sometimes maybe somebody, and I know this to be true because it's happened with our daughter too, where they're like, yeah, but she's so young, like her body can just do whatever because, right? Or she's so young, like she doesn't have a care in the world. I think it's harder when you're younger than when you are in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. I don't think that I would have at 21 when I was partying be this into this focus and this, I need to do this and I need to prioritize that and I need to do what I need first. Like, it's just so much harder to do when you're younger. So yeah. I wanted to get your take on it for you in terms of, like, do you ever feel like you're giving up anything or missing out in a negative way, or do you feel like you're just swapping it for something you want more? Because that's what these women a lot of times feel like they're doing. They're swapping time with their kids. They're swapping time with their husband. They're too busy. They're too stressed. They're too tired. They're too this and they're too many things. But they're not really that unique. Meaning, like, whether you're 19 or 49, right? It's like we all have the same things going on. Yeah. What were you gonna say?
No, I don't wanna sit here and be like, I'm a robot. I do this every day. I'm never tired. That's not true at all. Cause like you mentioned, I am young. Of course. So I like to have fun. I like to travel, and I just like to have fun. But like I said, it's all in the balance. And I'm not gonna say every day I'm feeling, yay, let's do this. No, but I have a goal, and I don't think it's necessarily kept me from anything. Because that's when like putting my priorities comes into perspective. Like, if I plan a trip with time ahead, I know what I have to do, before. And it also satisfies me that I was able to do everything and actually have fun too. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm strictly like a robot every day, because that's not realistic. For example, I love reading a lot. So I make time for my reading all the time. Because that's something that also distresses me too. Like, I so I'm not too in my head. It's good to find something that you like doing as well. It's like, I like to paint, then go paint. You know, you're busy, but make time for something you like, so you don't get burned out, so you don't get in over your head, and so you also are like grounded.
Taking a moment.
Yeah.
We all need to refill our cup.
Yeah, exactly. We all need to. Like, nobody's a robot.
What about the drive? Is the drive to do all of these things there because the goal is so big, or is the drive intrinsic in the sense that you've always been driven?
I feel a little bit of both, but mostly because of the goal is so big, you know, and I have so much that I want to do, and this is not the last pageant for me. I have so many goals, and all the goals that I have, like, I have them clear, and this is just a stepping stone. So I don't want to not do my best because I know this can further my career in the future.
It's an interesting response because most of the time, like, we've transformed a lot of people over the years. And one of the things that I always say is the reason that we've been able to do that is because there was a big goal on the other side, right? When somebody reaches out to us and they're like, I want to get shape because I'm going on vacation, I normally say, that's a great goal, but you're not going to cancel your vacation if you don't get in shape, are you? Right? They're not.
I wouldn't.
So
no one would.
No one would.
Whether you're going on a cruise or turning 40, it's all still coming.
But if the goal that you're getting ready for, in our case, is that you're going to step on stage in a bikini and have 5 or 6 people judge you, and you're going to stand next to other people, right? That goal is a little bit more like
just a
little bit more like I really got to get myself done, right? And that's why I asked whether the goal is the thing that is the catalyst. Because I think most of the time people are not setting goals that are big enough to inspire them to push a little bit further. A lot of times people are setting goals that are attainable but may not stretch them enough to make them push.
Yeah, I actually saw an Instagram post about that. That if it's too real, it's not realistic. Like, if it's too attainable, no.
You're not gonna do it.
Yeah. And
even the way you position that, you're like, I have more things that I want to get done. There's that component where a lot of times even the big goal is a one and done. It's like, if I do that, bucket list, check. Most of the time we hear not, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that. It's typically, all right, I'm going to do this, and then it's over, which is why I asked about resetting before. Because what we notice in a lot of people is that they will set a big goal, they will reach it, and then they will go back to where they started because there was no continuation, right? Unlike what you're saying, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this in 6 months, but I got a whole list of other things that I'm shooting for.
So the importance is the big goal and what comes after the big goal.
Yeah, because it's not realistic to kind of just have one goal because you're not going to do one thing for the rest of your life, you know?
Or you would think.
Well, that's the thing, right? A lot of women in their 40s and their 50s have been doing one thing for their whole life or have a handful of things. I know obviously you can't relate to that and that's not going to be your story, which is a great thing. But you have this like, oh yeah, I go to work and this is my career and I have these kids and I have this husband. It's like, but life never stays the same for anybody. Like, your kids are going to grow and they're going to leave, right? Like, you're going to continue to grow and evolve, hopefully, and you're going to get older. Like, everything changes, the world changes. So it's like, to think like to only have like one thing in sight is such a mistake. It's just as much of a mistake as not having a big goal at all.
Yeah, and it's always not being afraid to try new things either, because you never know what you're gonna like, and you never know what life brings. And sometimes life like throws curveballs, but it's also not letting that set you back either, because if you let little things set you back, you're never gonna move forward. You're just gonna end up right back where you started. And goals, even though they need to push you, sometimes for people, little goals help. So my goal is to, I don't know, just something silly. You do it, and maybe that'll motivate someone. I feel like it just depends on your mindset.
Absolutely.
I agree.
How long ago was that first pageant that you did?
It was in June 2024.
2024. Have you experienced any setbacks in that time? Anything that happened that is like, wow, I can't believe this happened to me. This is going to not allow me to compete, or this is going to ruin it, or I can't believe this happened. Anything that happened in that time that you would consider a setback or a challenge that would have prevented you from moving forward?
Well, I just think that not winning in general. I feel like for that little time, that time period, it definitely, if I didn't have the people that I have surrounded myself with, I don't think I would have been competing. As much as I loved it, I feel like if I stayed in that headspace, I was feeling terrible, you know, because I worked so hard for it. So I feel like if I stayed with that mindset of I can't do this, like this is, you know, like I wasn't gonna win the crown. Like,
can I ask about what you just said? You had worked so hard for that first one. In retrospect, have you worked harder since?
Yeah, definitely.
So when you look back at it, like, well, there's a reason that I'm asking.
Because that happens to us all the time. Like,
right?
I get it, but
right? It's almost like, man, I worked so hard for that. But then you continued and you've worked harder since.
And
then you got the outcome that you wanted.
Yeah, and that's why no matter the outcome of that first pageant, I gained a lot of experience, and pageants are not easy. So I got like an insight of what it actually is. I learned a lot about myself, my discipline, and everything. Now, if I would have won that, I would have never had the opportunity to now go internationally, you know? So sometimes it's a blessing in disguise.
For sure.
So it taught me what I needed to now be in this have a bigger title and go on to compete at an international stage. So sometimes things happen for a reason, but you kind of have to keep going.
And also everybody that's there worked hard. Like, that's what we always think about for ourselves and for like everybody. Susie and Kelly and Stacy, like everybody worked their ass off, right? You would think. So it's like, but whoever's day is that person. And it's not personal. It has nothing to do with you. It doesn't mean you didn't work hard, right? But it probably does mean you could work harder, or probably means that wasn't your time, or that they had something else in mind. Like you said, depends on what look they're going for.
In retrospect, considering that you didn't win that first show, you got a better title, bigger title. If you look at it from that perspective, were something like that to happen again, do you look at it the same way? Do you like, well, you know, this first time this didn't happen and something better came out of it? Do you walk away with that as perspective, or does it not really influence?
She's like, hell no, I want to win. I could see it in her face. She was like, don't even say it.
No, I would say, I don't think I would. Yeah, actually. Yeah. I always kind of have that mindset of, you never know if there's something better. I'm not going to say the crown. But I'm not going to say I'm not going to be hurt, you know.
For sure.
But I don't think that it would take me back to how I used to think before. I feel like it would just kind of fuel me. I feel like pageants are addicting. They are, because once you do one, once you watch one, you're gonna want to be in all of them. So it's kind of the same thing. But that crown is what I have my mind on right now. So.
Have you noticed?
You don't have time for other thoughts. You'll deal with it after.
Have you noticed that behavior show up in other areas? Like, for example, you said you started a business. Does that behavior translate? Like, do you look at your business the same way?
Yeah, and the thing is, it's different because my business is mine, but it also stemmed from my platform, which is called Well Beauty Empowered, which it started because I just wanted to talk about mental health and like confidence, because I went through that. So with the title, I'm in that position where I have an audience and I can talk about my experience. For example, I dealt with acne for a long time, and that also has played a crucial role in how I view myself. So how I overcame that, how I became who I am, and how the acceptance and everything, I talk about that in my platform. And that's how I became a business as well. I sell personalized jewelry where I love jewelry. I always have something on, but you can customize it to whatever you want. A beautiful meaning, something that a loved one made for you, or something special. So whenever you have it with you, you think about that moment or that person. So yes and no, because it's just two different things for me at the same time. Because I don't have my business, I don't have my platform because of the title. I feel like it's just a plus. So I know, like, I view things.
You separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess mentally, right, in terms of like your strategy or the way that you prioritize or the way that you look at it, or your drive, where you're like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna like. Is
like,
that
do you show up to play
the
Uno
board?
with the same, like, I gotta win this game?
Yeah, I do.
That's what he means. Like,
That's
are
what
you
I mean.
that committed to basically anything, whether it's?
Oh yeah, especially with school as well, because those are my two main things: getting my degree and my modeling.
What are you studying?
I was just gonna ask that. What are you getting a degree in?
Biomedicine. So I want to be a dermatologist.
Okay.
So one step at a time. I'm finishing my associate's degree to transfer to a bigger university.
You said you struggle with
love that.
acne.
You've taken every single struggle you've had and turned it into purpose.
Right. I was going to say, is that the reason that you're leaning in that direction? Okay.
I love that.
Yeah. So I used to want to be a pediatrician for the longest time, like for a long, long time. And I started volunteering at Nemours. I've been there for 3 years. I love volunteer work. That's another thing that's kind of a misconception. Like, queens do volunteer work, but I've always been that way. So I'm like, it's not something that I started doing because of it. But I realized that I could help more people through like more of my experience. So I've been in the dermatologist's office so many times, and I've had to deal with a lot of setbacks, a lot of move forward. Like right now, I'm in a little setback, right? But I've learned how to deal with it, and I've had to do my own research and all these things. And I'm like, if I can help other people doing something that I also love doing, I feel like that's a win. Because sometimes speaking from experience is better, because it's not the same having a dermatologist that has never dealt with that in their life versus someone who actually like went through it for a long time and can give you a different perspective.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I went through so much with acne too, and it's like debilitating. It sounds so stupid. Like,
I know.
It really does. Like, it sounds like so vain or so like, who cares? But it's like literally like ruins your life, like in your head, right? Like it's the worst thing. I know you're not sick and there's people dying. Like, I get it, but like I'm dying. You know what I mean?
Like I don't want to see my face like that.
Yeah.
Like, I know it doesn't, like acne doesn't define who you are, but essentially it does affect you. Like
big time.
Even if you don't want it to.
Big time.
It does for anyone. And that's where everyone's insecurities are different. Yeah. But someone who hasn't had acne cannot tell me that acne doesn't affect you at all.
It's the worst.
Like, you cannot tell me that.
You can't. And even when I look back at pictures, I'm like, oh my God, like I feel that pain. You know what I mean? Because you're like, it takes me back. Like, it's bigger than it looks. It's bigger than like, oh, I have a pimple. Like, no.
Like, I had clear skin. And then I did a microneedling session. My skin broke out. So I'm dealing with that all over again. I went from having clear skin to my skin breaking out all again and having to deal with that again. But it's like, it happens to everyone. To anyone. It can happen to anyone. It's just taking care of yourself.
Yeah. But he knows every time that I start to get like 2 or 3, I'm like, oh, hell no. I start to freak out. I'm like, oh no, I can't live this again. I 100% get it. But I love that everything that you have experienced, you have turned into some sort of purpose. Like, even like you're saying, like, I wasn't confident, you know, and now I am, and now I'm a different person. And it's like, and I like to share that. And it's like, if more people just did that, like, so that alone, like, the world would be such a different place. Because the same thing with us, right? It's like, the same thing happened to me. I was in a terrible place, and I was in a major rut. I had just had my son. I felt horrible about myself. I was in a really bad place, and like, still had all the acne I was working through, but like physically I wasn't working toward anything. All of a sudden I'm just taking care of everybody else, and it's just like, this whole thing just brought me back to life, you know? Like, I've been 10 versions of myself in the last 10 years of doing that, or 8, or whatever it's been. It's really easy for me to talk about it, and it's really fulfilling for me to be a part of other people's journey and see what it does for them and be like, that's it, you see? Like, that's what I'm talking about.
It's a school.
It's the best, but it's so much better when you've been through it versus someone that has never experienced.
And like you guys were saying before, like, you guys are coaches, but speaking from someone that was your student or something, it's different because people are going to believe it, or more people are going to like feel in touch with it, you know?
I wanna make sure that we don't skip like where people could find you and where they could follow you. Are you on social? Do you have a website?
I do.
Tell us all of it.
So my website is Bold Beauty Empowered. Literally, as soon as you look
and I'll link it on the show
He'll link
notes.
everything in the description.
And my Instagram is Andrea Almestica. Just my name, my full name. Those are like my socials.
Awesome.
Mostly Instagram.
So what's next?
I will link it all in the show notes so that there's a link out so that people could follow you and follow your journey and support.
I was gonna say, so what is next for you? Tell everyone.
Well, Hopefully I win that international.
Well, where are you at? Like, do you have any pageants coming up, or is it just the one in 6 months? Are you prepping solely for that?
Yeah.
And
I'm prepping for that.
And what is that called?
Miss Teen International.
And it's where?
In India. Guys,
That's
I'm going to
amazing.
India.
So exciting.
That's amazing.
I've never been to India, so I'm excited for the culture and just to see how it is. It's different. It's completely different. Yeah. I'm going to the Taj Mahal as well, so I'm excited.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
That's amazing. What do you say to somebody, regardless of where they are in their journey, that is almost like borderline going to do something, like sign up for a pageant, or in our case, sign up for a show, but isn't really sure? They're like, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if I could or should. Having done all the things that you've done and how it's made you feel, what do you say to somebody that's like on the fence there?
Even if you're scared, do it. I've been scared a lot of times, but I still do it. Sometimes I'm on stage and I'm shaking. You can't tell, but I'm still putting myself in that position. Like sometimes it's normal. It's normal to feel scared, to not want to try new things, but life is about that. Try new things, moving forward. You don't want to stay stuck in one thing. And I would definitely say, just keep going. It sounds silly, but really just keep going and not let the little things affect you or sidetrack you, and just be clear and be mindful of yourself as well, and know your limits.
Self-awareness. Our favorite.
Yeah, and know your limits, because you don't want to overdo it. Also, don't compare yourself. What you can do, maybe I can't do it. So I'm not going to look at you and be like, I need to do that. Because we're not the same. So it's setting realistic goals for yourself, being real. That's what I would say.
It's amazing.
I love that. What's been the most impactful thing about this journey for you?
All the people I've got to meet and like the opportunities. It's weird because I used to be scared to talk to. Like I like to talk, but at the same time, I don't really talk to. I used to not talk to strangers, or like I wouldn't put myself in that position. And now the people that I've got to meet, the things that I've got to do, is definitely been. It's rewarding, impactful. It's everything, and it just makes me want more. You know, it's like this is just a stepping stone. It's something that I want to continue doing. You know, it's exciting.
That's amazing.
Love that.
That's amazing.
This is awesome.
This was awesome. You've said so many things that are so insightful for somebody that is just getting started, but also for people that are further along in their life journey. So hopefully this is an episode that everybody can go back to and re-listen to and take notes on all of those little tidbits of advice that maybe are coming from somebody that is younger in the life journey, but much further along in the competition, self-awareness, and drive journey. So for us, for Lais, thank you for joining. Make sure you do all the things that people do on podcasts: like, share, comment, subscribe. Ask any questions that you have. We will send them her way. Until next time, peace out, everybody.
Bye, guys.